So, Will, if you're still here, we could talk a bit about the future while watching Metroid. Talk a little about the future of the show because I'm taking next week off. This is episode 99. Um, so I kind of wanted to revamp anyway, and episode 100 of the show no one watches is is a great place to kind of soft relaunch. Recently, I have been doing the last 3 weeks. I did these full scripts for the opening news segment, which I really enjoy doing. I think they're pretty good. Hey, Will. Um, and actually, those script I used to do the intro with like a full script and write the jokes and do all that anyway, but it was more about news. And actually, before that, I did the segments. Yeah, I started doing them with a full script. Then I just started to kind of write bullet points down, and then I changed it to, oh, now I'm gonna dive into these topics more interestingly. Starting this year, I did the future of the Switch, good versus bad, what could be the best possible scenario versus the worst possible scenario. I did one on the Virtual Console, really enjoyed it, and then now with the Cuphead one and with PewDiePie being dummy, and then the Steam review bombs of this week, really enjoy what those have been doing. I think people at the Game Fanatics have liked them. I like writing them. I like doing them. I think they're good. I think that's the future where it wants to go with the show. I think having the end for fun clips and whatever can still stay, but the rest of it, the middle section, is going to have to just be one review or preview. There is straight up nothing going on in summer, and I find forcing it is a little goofy. There were a couple instances where I bought like, oh, I'll buy this indie game and I'll review it on the show just because there's like not a lot going on. And I don't necessarily mind doing that because usually I like the game anyway. But it's stupid, right? And why put out content that is just like, well, I played this game and it was all right, it was cool, I suppose. If I don't have any, I don't want to be just doing it just to be doing it. And I think having one review or preview a week is much more doable and more logical than going nuts. Certainly there will be times when it's like, I got 3 things to talk about this week, plus a news item, plus a whatever, and that's the rare exception. But this summer has really showed me I don't want to cover the news anymore. I did that, like I said, when it first started, did all the news. Here's Kojima, he's traveling around the world. Oh, PlayAsia did something silly, let's talk about that. There's some censorship in this. Is it really censorship? Let's go into it. And I liked doing those, and this is so the beginning segment is more of a return to form. But like I said, there will be no 100th episode next week. 100th episode. But perhaps I will finally get together and do a best of eventually for like the best of 2 years maybe. Because at this point I started doing that best of like last December and I never finished it. And so now I have a full other thing of shows. I'm just bad. I'm just a bad person is what it is. Well, that's what it is. I am still curious about that Excel spreadsheet. Because it's like, why? You gotta put it, yeah. It's just so weird. Here's area 1. Here's area 2. Like, really? That was your choice? Area 1. I mean, maybe that's what they were in the original game, but the original game was on the Game Boy. We can have names for the areas now. And Metroid 1 had area. It's just silly. It's just a little silly. I need to know a reason. But also with changing the format of the show, it's going to be shorter, probably. Probably about this length, maybe a little shorter. I'm shooting now. Nice to see the pendulum evolving. So I don't know if you heard at the beginning, Will. So the show's going to be shorter. Instead of like 40 minutes to an hour, going to be shooting for half an hour with the opening segment that's scripted. Hopefully, I'm going to try and make some evergreen topics to have when there's no actual interesting news tidbit to go into. And besides that, we can still have the after the show, whatever. Let's look at Yule logs for 20 minutes. I don't care. That's fine. And oh yeah, the new, I'm going to buy a thing so I can put up I'm moving. So that's like my shelf is empty. There's nothing behind me. It might be more of an echo this week. I don't know, because there's like very few things in my apartment left. Moving next week. I'm not streaming next week. Won't be any show next week. New setup. Gonna try and do new graphics. Gonna try and do a bunch of new things. Like I said, soft launch, relaunch. I don't know if it's really nice to see the show, Will. I just imagine you're just like real bored. That's what I imagine. Like, what's going on? Oh, Ben's being stupid again for 20 minutes. Let's just indulge. That's what I imagine it is. We talk about Frasier every once in a while. Hasn't been a Frasier time in a while. But I think that's the future for the show, starting with episode 100. Maybe I should just restart it. Just do episode 1 again. But I kind of like the idea of just keeping the count go up for no reason. So I don't know. So I do this show every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Twitch.tv/TheGameFanatic. It will likely still be that time unless someone can convince me otherwise. I think the time's fine. It's an afternoon on the Pacific. It's evening time on Eastern Coast. It's about midnight in the UK. Not a good time. Not a good time. Admittedly, not great. But next week, no show. Week after that, I think, is Cuphead. And I'm going to play Cuphead. And we're going to have a discussion about Cuphead. Because I guarantee you, I'm feeling it right now. I'm going to play Cuphead, and it's a good time. Thank you. And it's going to be not as crazy as people are saying. It's going to not be that difficult. I'm hoping, because I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to be real upset if I'm real terrible at it. I got stuck in the tutorial for 5 minutes. I think it's a good time. Because I don't want to do during the day. Ain't no one around during the day. And then Friday night, people are out at night, but I figure 6 p.m. on the East Coast, 3 p.m., it's a decent time. I don't know. I'm not fucking PewDiePie over here. Not that I want to be now. Not that I ever wanted to be. Too much work. Although I do the work. If you had that many viewers, imagine being on the other side. That's what I want to see. Is there a PewDiePie documentary? Because I want to hear what it's like when he was just like, oh shit, I got a bunch of subscribers. What's going on? I'm just going to keep making stuff. And then it just keeps snowballing. That's what I want to know. I think that'd be a fascinating story to hear. The rest of the story, him doing shows and scary, I don't really care. I want to know the psychology with it. That's what I'm interested in. Is there a documentary on PewDiePie? That sounds like a real lame request, but it'd be fascinating. It's got to be fascinating. Completely unrelated to this Metroid nonsense. See, this should be moved over, right? It should be a little moved over. Yeah, I think that's better. Move it over. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Merry Christmas. It's cooling down. It's almost Christmas. I think it's the first day of fall. There you go. Happy fall. Jeez, okay, that trailer needs to stop flashing at me. God. All right, thanks, Will. See you in 2 weeks. Well, I'll probably see you before then, but you know what I mean.